Hello everyone, this is Adam again, and on this video I would like to talk about Mother's Day. Unlike many videos that I'm sure you'll see today on all of the news websites, this video will not be about how wonderful mothers are. Although I do know there are many great ones out there. This video is about dealing with Mother's Day as an adult child of a narcissistic parent. This is my first Mother's Day with the realization that my mother is in fact a narcissist. So this is a new experience for me, and it's not been pleasant so far. Let me explain what I mean. Mother's Day has always been uncomfortable for me, and I never knew why. I always assumed it was just because I'm the rebellious type, and society says you have to celebrate Mother's Day, and there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm a bad son. Maybe I need mental health counseling. Whatever it is, for some reason, I have never wanted to celebrate Mother's Day, and I couldn't figure it out. We're told by society that Mother's Day is so important, much more so than Father's Day, for example, for some reason. I've always wondered that. The reason typically given for this is that mothers go through the pain of childbirth, I guess. This belief was, for me, reinforced repeatedly by my stepfather, who is in many ways a doormat to my mother, and it was also implied by my mother as well. Implied by my mother, how is that, you ask? Well, she'd never outright tell me I have to celebrate Mother's Day, of course. And while I'm sure some of you do have mothers that tell you outright that you have to celebrate Mother's Day, I'm sure many of you also identify with my experience, especially with a covert narcissist mother. She would never say it outright, but it's implied that if I don't do something nice or sweet or loving, regardless of my wants or needs, that I'm going to suffer. How will I suffer? Well, I'll feel bad, I'll feel guilty, and not only will I have those feelings, but she will reinforce those feelings in me, making them even worse. Of course, I don't want to have those feelings, so that's what's implied. And also, that's what makes today the first time I'm ever ignoring my mother on Mother's Day, especially painful and frightening for me. Now look, I'm not saying mothers are awful and you shouldn't celebrate Mother's Day. If you have a great mother and you want to take this occasion of Mother's Day to celebrate your mother, I have nothing but respect for that. That's great. However, if you have a great relationship with your mother, you probably celebrate her all year long anyway, and this is just another occasion to do that. Now, before you think I'm just a malcontent, for those of you who somehow got to this video and don't understand what having a narcissist mother is like, consider Valentine's Day. Like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day is a holiday in the United States where we celebrate love, especially the love of being in a relationship with someone special. If you have someone special in your life, you look forward to Valentine's Day as a day to celebrate your love for that person. But if you don't have someone special, you rue that day. It's the same with Mother's Day. If you have a terrific mother, then you look forward to the celebration. If you don't have a terrific mother, well, you get the idea. The difference, of course, being that society is okay with you not celebrating Valentine's Day, especially if you're single and lonely. But it does not condone not celebrating Mother's Day, regardless of who your mother is. So it's not that I and many others are just malcontents, although we are that out of necessity. But it's the obligation and expectation of Mother's Day that we hate. Society and your family and whomever else basically wants to force this obligation down your throat. Your freedom, happiness, needs, and wants be damned. You may hate your mother or the relationship you have with your mother, but you better buy her a fucking card and pretend you love her. Well, fuck that. The sad part is that very often us adult children of narcissistic mothers do love our mothers, or we desperately want to love them, but they don't return the love. Let me repeat that. We want to love them, but they do not return our love. So do you understand now why we have to rebel? So I'm suffering today. I've been dreading this day for 3 weeks, and today it's finally here. The guilt, the shame, the pain of knowing I'm not going to do anything has been getting worse every day for the last 3 weeks until finally the day has arrived. I feel extremely guilty for knowing I'm not going to do anything today for her. I'm not going to send anything to her. I'm not going to say anything to her. For the first time in my living memory, the day is just going to pass without me celebrating her at all. Except for one thing, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. So, a little bit more about the suffering. I have these guilt tapes, and they play over and over in my mind. How's she going to feel? What if I hurt her feelings? She's going to realize now that I want to go no contact, as if she hadn't before. She'll finally get it, and then she'll withhold love even more. That's painful. And what will the others in my family or people at work say, as if they're going to find out? I'll be a total outcast. I'll be kicked out of the village. I must be some kind of reprobate. All of that kind of garbage is going through my head. And yet, I'm not going to talk to her anyway. Because my self-esteem and my personal happiness and desire for freedom demands that I stick to my plan of no contact. I'm comforted by an incredible reservoir of strength and resolve I didn't even know I had. I refuse to play along with the script. I'm going to do what I want today. I'm going to do what I need today, which is not to celebrate my living mother at all, and to instead take care of me. Which brings me to my final point. Instead of celebrating my living mother, I'm choosing instead to celebrate what I and perhaps the great Carl Jung would call my inner mother, who cares for me unconditionally, loves me no matter what I do or don't do, takes care of and comforts me, and is proud of me for meeting my own wants and needs, expressing myself, and caring for myself. My inner mother is awesome, and I choose to celebrate her today on this Mother's Day. Now, if you're struggling like me, one helpful thing you can do, and I aim to do this later tonight when I know I'm still going to be struggling and there's still going to be those guilt tapes playing saying, well, you have a few hours left, you could still send her something and she'll see that you care. The one thing you can do is you can write a letter to your mother, telling her what you really want to say to her. Write it, but do not send it to her. I repeat, this is not to be sent to her. This is for you only. She's not going to change anyway. So sending her a painful letter is only going to give her more ammunition that she can use against you. Write it for your personal healing process only. Before I do that, though, this afternoon, I'm going to be doing something nice and caring for myself. And believe me, this feels very selfish, and I feel very guilty about it, but I'm going to buy myself something frivolous and fun, and later I'm going to write that letter if I'm still struggling. I hope all of you with narcissistic mothers do something nice for yourselves today as well. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.